This plastic bag. It might have been blown away and you tried to catch it, but it was too late. It first got stuck in a tree, but with a final gust of wind it reached a little creek, flowing along, reaching a large river, and eventually it ventured out in the open ocean. This plastic bag did not have any knowledge on exclusive economic zones or borders of marine protected areas. It only feels the ocean currents, the waves, and the wind that carries it through the ocean. It had a rough journey, been torn apart, smaller pieces started to sink, but eventually it reached the shorelines of a UNESCO World Heritage Site, the Galapagos Islands. This plastic bag is not alone, and as long as mismanaged waste is entering our world oceans, we have to design solutions that will effectively mitigate potential harm to our marine ecosystem. The Galapagos Islands are a world-renowned reserve, unique in their science history and biodiversity, but are on the siege for marine plastic pollution with 8 tons currently removed annually. At Utrecht University in the Netherlands, we aim to support strategic cleanup efforts on the Galapagos Islands by using our knowledge on ocean currents and processes to predict when and where plastic washes ashore. Using ocean models and a particle tracking tool called ocean parcels, we can mimic the behavior of larger pieces of plastic that float in the ocean. One of the main challenges is to connect the large-scale ocean model we use to small-scale coastal processes. If a piece of floating plastic is near a shoreline, how likely is it that this piece washes ashore? To get more insight in these mechanisms, we have done a field survey last autumn using drifters. These drifters float at the ocean surface, similar to larger pieces of plastic, but their advantage is that they have a GPS and we can track their movement through the ocean in real time. They are small and easy to deploy, and in collaboration with the Charles Darwin Foundation, they have been released at strategic locations throughout the marine reserve. The data obtained is used to validate the modeled pathways of the virtual pieces of plastic and will provide insight on how to include the role of local environmental parameters, such as beach type, the tidal phase, and wind conditions, into our model simulations. Furthermore, we can use this data to estimate how likely plastic is to wash ashore when it is close to the shoreline, which in turn will help our efforts in designing a prediction tool. With these improvements, we will be able to identify key sources of plastic that reach the Galapagos Marine Reserve. So far, we've investigated the 2 main sources of plastic that are found on the Galapagos: plastic reaching the ocean from the mainland via rivers, and sources from fishing activity in the Southeast Pacific. Combining data from the Global Fishing Watch with estimates of abandoned, lost and discarded fishing gear reveals hotspots of fishing effort, which are marked red in this animation, and possible pathways of debris through the ocean, which are marked in blue. Although not all fishing efforts are included in this dataset, it still provides us with a wealth of information. For example, from which fishing regions waste is most likely to arrive at the Galapagos Marine Reserve, or from which flag type. Another source of plastic arriving at the islands are rivers on the mainland, as these form major pathways for land-based plastic litter to the ocean. Our results show that not only the variability of the outflow at the river mouth, but also the ocean dynamics plays a key role in the episodic nature of plastic arrival at the Galapagos Islands. Being able to forecast these episodes using state-of-the-art machine learning techniques is our ultimate goal. The Galapagos has the potential to be the world's first marine protected area to manage the threat of marine plastics. And the Galapagos are just the beginning. By providing the world with an example on how to tackle this global problem, it will support efforts of island nations worldwide to tackle the global challenge of plastic pollution. This plastic bag had a rough journey, but eventually it reached the shorelines of the Galapagos Islands, where a park ranger was notified it would arrive and was able to remove this piece of plastic before it could do any harm.